Part 36. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 351. Chapter 351 Response from all parties. The appearance of Uchiha Madara shocked the senior officials of Wudayan village. But this matter is not known to ordinary ninjas. This level of destructive power will cause hysterical panic. Unlike the fourth generation of Kages, the third generation of Tsuchika Jonoji, who was personally educated by Uchiha Madara, obviously understands the meaning of this name better. Konoha is a ninjutsu that can make trouble. In Yinyan village, Oniki slapped the table with Bang Bang. The powerful effect of reincarnation of the dirty soil has been vividly reflected in the battle images recorded by the arcane illusion. Now he can't care about shocking Wu Wu's real strength. What he cares about is that even if this guy is attacked by Wu Wu's level, he can't die. It can't be consumed, it can't be killed, and its destructive power is too terrifying to compete. How can we defeat him? While alive, although he may be stronger, he will eventually be tired, his chakra will be exhausted, and he will be injured. But now, remembering that the third generation of Raikage, known as the strongest spear and strongest shield, was surrounded by an army he mobilized, Oniki sighed weakly. Army. Even if it is all the troops of the 5 hidden villages, what can they do with the current Uchiha Madara? The reincarnation of the dirty soil, or the reincarnation of the dirty soil that is completely uncontrollable, it is simply. Onoki couldn't help being a little scared. That kind of devastating battle effect, even if he mastered the blood succession to eliminate the dust escape, he was powerless to resist. Not to mention, these two monsters have been fighting for so long, and they can't breathe a breath, so forget about Madara, reincarnating from the dirt, but that Wu Guardian Council, should I be thankful now that there is such an organization, and even more fortunate that the leader of this organization is so strong and has a relatively decent style. Like Onoki, Kazekage, and Raikage, although upset, were still shocked by the information displayed in this video. They unanimously made the most correct choice, which was to suppress all factors in the village that refused to cooperate and fully support the actions of the Guardian Council. Needless to say, Konoha, and Wuin village, which has become more and more low-key recently. Great Elder, hasn't the fourth generation made a decision yet? As a representative of Kirigakure, Ao was very puzzled why the fourth Mizukage Yakura hadn't responded to the call of the Guardian Council. Therefore, Ching personally returned to Wuin village through the portal and found the Great Elder Yuanchi. The fourth generation has been in seclusion for a while, and it seems that there are some things that need to be studied with Sanwei. Although Grand Elder Yuanchi was a little doubtful about the recent policies of the fourth Mizukage Yakura, he did not exceed his authority too much. After all, he is also old, and the third generation made a wrong decision back then, and he also blamed himself, so he didn't interfere with Yagura's affairs much. However, he has already come out in the morning, and the report has been handed in, and there should be an answer soon. That's good. Ching breathed a sigh of relief. Now that the 4 hidden villages are actively responding, if Wuin turns a blind eye to this matter, troubles will easily arise. Then please trouble the Great Elder. After talking about this matter, Ching subconsciously pressed her white eyes, and smiled wryly. Also, I think I should talk to Hinata from the enforcement unit. Over the past half a year, the chairman has been cultivating, and the chakra consumption of white eyes has become more and more. But my chakra and white eyes seem to be more and more conflicting. Compared with when I first got white eyes, now I need to spend twice as much chakra, but the effect of activating white eyes is only half of that at that time. What? Master Yuan was shocked. This is not a trivial matter. For Wuin village, the preciousness of white eyes is needless to say. They were willing to let Ching go to the Guardian Council partly because, in Jioshan Yuan, it was safer than Wuin village. Could it be that the Hinata family did something? Master Yuan was a little uncertain, because no one had ever gotten the supercilious look of the Hyuga family and was able to leave a record. So in this situation, is the Hinata family doing it secretly, or is it just blindfolded? Is that the case? Since you settled in Joshinyuan, what's Hinata Nisai's attitude towards you? This, it seems that it should be said that there is no attitude at all, right? Ao recalled her experience during this period. Strictly speaking, Hyuga Nazashi, as an outpost execution force, has been carrying out security missions in the Taki country, and has nothing to do with him, the member of parliament who stayed behind in Takamahara. In the previous few meetings, the other party also acted as if he didn't know that his eyes were behind the blindfold. He doesn't seem to care that I get the white eyes at all. Ching frowned, he cared about this matter very early. If you want to start secretly, there should be no chance for Hyuga homeland. So, I guess, is it that the Hinata family is very clear that even if the white eyes can be used by me, it is nothing to worry about? According to this progress, before next year, the white eyes will become worthless, or even unable to activate at all. The blue face is serious. However, before he could continue, the door was opened, and the fourth Mizukage Yakura walked in. Ching, white eyes are not your foundation after all, just a perception pupil technique. If it's gone, it's gone. Yakura nodded slightly to the great elder master Yuen, and then handed a piece of information to Ching. Since you are here, please take my reply back. Although we, Kirigakuer, have not regained our vitality, we can still provide support within our capabilities. 4 generations. Ching bowed to Yakura, took the documents, and heard Yakura say again. As far as I know, when Konoha and Bian are as famous as Sherinan, when they are transplanted to Nanachiha people, not only will the burden on the body become very heavy, but also the ability of Sherinan will not be able to be used. Moreover, Sherinan needs a pair of the same origin to play its biggest role. Presumably, Bian should have similar restrictions. Ao didn't know when Yagura knew Konoha's pupil technique so well, but as Mizukage, the information he had must be correct. But I don't know why, Mr. Ao feels that Yakura will involuntarily show a trace of contempt when talking about rolling eyes. So that's the case. I heard that the supercilious eyes of the Hinata family will be destroyed directly after death, and there may be some restrictions on the supercilious eyes of the main family. From the perspective of chakra matching, it does make sense. Then use the supercilious bento box as a prop with a number of uses. Yagura's position always seems to be on Ao's left side, at the blind spot of his right eye. Hearing this, he smiled slightly. Then you can go back. My reply from Kirigakuer is already too late, there is no longer any delay. Yes, 4th generation. Ching didn't think too much, and took the order to go. In a spacious building somewhere underground, Madara Uchiha snorted softly and opened his eyes. Bien, no matter whether it is Konoha's method or not, without this guy who might see through my illusion, the movement can be accelerated. However, during this period of time, Mito Mongo, you haven't appeared. What are you preparing for? Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 352. Chapter 352 Power of Habit. Uchiha Madara doesn't know what Satoru is doing, but Satoru knows very well that Madara is now preparing to use the nail of Nagato. However, Wu believes that Nagato can grasp the speed. Now, even if Yahiko is gone, it is difficult for Nagato to have problems, let alone Yahiko is still alive and kicking. It has been a year since the last time I fought against Madara. Julama followed Wu's father, Mito Minyan, to experience the life of Konoha, and he felt a little bit reluctant to leave. Taste delicious food, enjoy fine wine, play cards with Tsunade, take a bath with Zillet. Although at the beginning everyone was afraid that the old man would cause some trouble and accommodated him, but slowly, the unruly temperament and unparalleled charm of 9 Lamas gained everyone's approval. For the first time in thousands of years, foxes discovered another side of human war. Although he is still a tsundere monster in essence, strictly speaking, he is now the 9 llamas who have gained freedom. It seems. It's not like he originally thought that he would reject the current human identity. According to the previous plan, MaleProtagonist arranged the identity of the former root for the 9 llamas. The true identity of the 9 llamas is only known to Konoha senior management. The patriarchs of the major families received the news that the current Kyuubi Jinchuriki is the 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Therefore, in the top-secret intelligence system, Minato is the 2nd Jinchuriki Kage after the 4th Mizu Kage Yakura. The 9 llamas are human beings, so they don't like this statement, but they don't have time to pay attention to them. However, under normal circumstances, Minato can solve the problem without using the tailed beast chakra. Up to now, except for private testing, no one has been able to let Minato borrow the power of the 9 llamas. Different from the real Jinchuriki, this kind of transmission through the air mode uses the powerful energy transmission technology mastered by Satoru to transmit the pure, will-free tail beast chakra of the Kurama to Minato. Therefore, Minato directly skipped the half-tailed beast mode affected by the will of the tailed beast. But in the same way, without the will of 9 tails, Minato would not be able to communicate with 9 llamas. So for the time being, he has no way to turn into a giant-tailed beast with the help of the 9 llamas, especially he can't use the tailed beast jade. However, the upgraded version of the Golden Body 9 llama mode that combines the 2 chakras, if you practice hard, there is still no problem. As for the tailed beast jade, as long as the problem of changing the nature of the spiral pill is solved, it will be a matter of minutes to learn the tailed beast jade. The huge 9 llama body shape and the toughness of the enemy are not Minato's fighting style. The infinite chakra of the 9 llamas mode, and the great enhancement of perception, speed, strength, physical strength, etc., are the greatest help to Minato. However, also because there is no influence of the will of the 9 llamas, whether the water gate can be opened or not is up to him to decide. The legendary fairy fox mode can also be arranged. However, because of the remote call of the tailed beast chakra, the instantaneous output power will be greatly affected. This compatible 9 llama mode, in addition to the enhancement of physical attributes, is equivalent to adding a powerful blue buff that is not inferior to reincarnation of the dirt, instead of directly hanging an infinitely long blue bar. The current Minato, like Rope Tree, has a whole body of buffs. Even among the 5 cages, one can still become the strongest of the 5 cages. And what he had expected before was not bad at all. After enjoying the portal for this period of time, the 5 hidden villages have gotten used to it. Habits are terrible. The 5 great nations and the 5 great hidden villages, with Gao Tianyuan at the core, are gradually forming a stable trade and exchange order. The growing prosperity of various personnel and materials exchanged through the portal has attracted the participation of small ninja countries. And the 5 major countries that own the portal undoubtedly made a lot of money from it. People of insight can already foresee that a new ninja world order is taking shape. With the increasing load on the portal, the original 5 hidden villages relying solely on ninjas to provide them with chakra is not enough. Therefore, the 5 great hidden villages, as Wu Dayan thought, set their sights on their own infinite source of chakra. On the tailed beast. The existence of Uchiha Madara has made the major hidden villages vigilant, and at the same time, they are also guarding against information about tailed beasts. This made Madara's investigation a lot more difficult. But in contrast, the major hidden villages are also rethinking the role of tailed beasts. What does Uchiha Madara want tailed beast for? Provide chakra? So why can't we use tailed beast chakra to maintain the portal? In fact, Konoha was the first to do so. It's just that the amount of chakra in the 9 llamas is really too large. Juken chakra is more than the other 8 combined. In addition to the current strange form of the 9 llamas, it is only necessary to engrave the chakra contract on the base of the portal to ensure that it will not be interrupted. but it is not so simple for other hidden villages. Except for Cheyenne village, the tail beasts of Yunyan, and Wian are all sealed in Renzolai's body. Therefore, while they are guarding against Madara, they are also separately developing methods that can effectively use the tailed beast chakra in Jinzolai. And Sandyan village, which only has one tailed beast, is once again facing a difficult choice. Since the end of the Third Ninja World War, Sand Hidden Village has been sealing Ichizuru in the tea kettle. But although this can ensure safety, it cannot use the power of Sha or He. Whether it's protecting the village or maintaining the portal. However, different from the original timeline, although Hidden Sand Village is still under pressure from the Land of Winds to reduce military expenditures, it is not short of funds. Thanks to Jiaoshan multi-country trade, the mineral resource market in Yinsha village has been well developed. Correspondingly, however, Hidden Sand Village has also become the party with the greatest demand for portals. Fourth generation, the Jonin we have arranged now is already very reluctant to provide chakra for the portal. If we continue to arrange manpower, it will affect the defense work of the village. Joe is reporting the latest village personnel arrangements to Logoshat. The sharp reduction in combat tasks was originally a problem that the village's senior management should be vigilant about. But I didn't expect that with the development of business and the increase of business-related tasks, not only did the ninjas not have no tasks to accept, but the income was much richer than before. And what guarantees all of this is to maintain the load of the portal and ensure the number of ninjas that provide chakra for the portal. Looks like it's time to use the tailed beast chakra. Is there any progress in the new type of sealed puppet? Logosha seems to have been haggard a lot recently, and he hasn't fully recovered from the shadow of his wife Jiolu Logo's death in childbirth when she gave birth to her youngest son, Gara. I'm sorry, fourth generation. Joe sighed and shook his head. It's not a big problem to guide Shikaku chakra out. But the tailed beast chakra is too violent, we can't use it effectively like Konoha's war mecha. Is it still not working? Logosha pinched the center of her brows, her gaze became a little gloomy again. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 353. Chapter 353 Permission Fragments. In terms of research on tailed beasts, we also lag behind Konoha. Now the fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato has just become Jinchuriki and can control the power of the tailed beast. In this way, the old man is even more sure that the huge energy of the war mech comes from the tailed beast. Joe's face was full of shame. Since the end of the war, Konoha's war mecha had almost occupied her entire mind. That was a pioneering work that could subvert the profession of puppet master. The power of a war mech is not only reflected in its ability to attack and defend independently without manipulation, but also in its subversive energy technology. Now, while other hidden villages are still working hard to study the chakra guiding technology of Renzhuli, Cheyenne village, which has been experimenting for a long time and has not found a suitable Renzhuli, is the first to turn its attention to this place. If the energy conduction technology of the war mecha and the way the fourth Hokage controls the tailed beast really come from the same source, then Konoha has indeed thoroughly studied the tailed beast's chakra. Rosa sighed. This is probably still Mr. Speaker's handwriting. After the battle between Satoru and Madara, even though they were 5 Kages, they all began to use the honorific title Mr. Speaker to address Satoru. In the final analysis, the ninja world still depends on strength to speak. Mr. Speaker, the current position should be to stand on the entire ninja world, so is it possible? Like a portal, provide this technology to the 5 hidden villages? Don't even think about it, it's impossible. No matter how generous the speaker is, it is based on the fact that Konoha is invincible. Logosha snorted coldly, although he was not reconciled, there was nothing he could do. Mr. Speaker, haven't you finished training yet? Yes, According to the news from Markey, the speaker's long-term retreat is likely to last until next year. Next year. Subconsciously glanced at the direction of her home, Luo Xia was silent for a moment, then murmured. Even if Gaara becomes Jinchuriki now, it won't be able to meet the needs of the portal. But, we don't have a more suitable candidate to be Ren's Huli than him. The wrinkles on Zhou's face deepened. I understand how you feel, fourth generation, but this is the last resort. Wait for another half a year, and if the chairman appears, I will talk to him personally. Yes, the fourth generation. Just when Dayan village was struggling with how to safely use the tailed beast chakra. In the private space, Wu held Alan's in his hand, staring at the scene in the purification circle with a solemn expression. With the influx of the last ray of special chakra, the nearly transparent white eyes in the magic circle changed their form. The sapphire blue eyeballs exude a misty gleam, appearing in the ninja world for the first time. Finally, the chakra purified by the Hyuga clan, which is closer to the Otsutsuki clan's chakra, has reached the standard. Combined with the white eyes of the Hyuga clan, this is the legendary Tensei Yin. Enlightenment admired the beautiful color of this eye, and his spiritual power could clearly feel that this eye contained the power of authority that he had been waiting for a long time. This is Tenseiken, partner, it does have a taste of the power of a titan, but it still seems to be only a small part. Alan's tone was a bit puzzled. This, even in the battle between the seat of the gods and Argus, the titans of the pantheon never gave me such a strange feeling. Oh. How does it feel? Enlightenment is a bit strange. Speaking of which, Alan's did face the big titans of the pantheon, and his former holder even killed a fallen titan with their help. The power of the titans is grand and full of order, but the power of authority in this eye is too narrow. Its utilization rate of energy is far inferior to titans, even far inferior to titan guardians. If the same energy can be used by titans to create worlds, then the authority in this eye also has the ability to create. But at best it will create a mountain. Aluneth was puzzled by this. It's like, this kind of authority is just a very elementary fragment, at least it needs to be recombined into countless pieces to reach the realm of a titan. So, maybe it's true. Tensei Yin and Samsarian, at their roots, both come from the Otsutsuki clan, more precisely, they come from the fruit of the sacred tree. The fruit of the sacred tree brought chakra, the eyes of reincarnation and eyes of reincarnation in the form of 6 ways of yin and yang escape, reflecting the power of authority. And the fruit of the sacred tree, which is commonly referred to as the chakra fruit, what is it used for? The Daetongmyo family kept collecting them to become gods. If Aluneth's feeling is correct, then that is to say, the authority contained in the fruit of the sacred tree is indeed a weakened version of trickery. In this way, the power of the star soul is stolen regardless of loss, and then a large number of these authority fragments are assembled to form a complete authority, so as to possess the power of a titan. Satoru probably understood the true purpose of the chakra fruit. With the power of the 6 yin and yang escape techniques, he is already a proper god in the mortal world. But in the Daetongmyo clan, this standard of god might really be a titan. After all, the most obvious thing about titans. Unlimited lifespan is not something that can be achieved by the mere 6 paths of yin and yang. The immortal of the 6 paths Otsutsuki Uromo, and his younger brother, Otsutsuki Yumura, both have limited lifespans. And Kagaya Otsutsuki, the person who ate the chakra fruit directly, may have a lifespan of thousands of years, but she is not in the same dimension as the titan at all. Even the effects of the energy and authority that can be used are unreasonably different. You know, just relying on the power and energy of a fallen titan Argus, it supports the endless burning legion, infinitely reborn in the twisting nether. Father of the gods Amonthul and Sargeras before his fall created countless lives and worlds. Let Atsuki Kagaya try it. 100 of her are not half as good as titans. However, this family likes eyeballs so much, and they have a bit of the demeanor of the ancient gods. But even if it's just a fragment of authority, you can take a step beyond the guardian. Alan's tone became excited and expectant. Partner, the difference between you and the guardians now is that you don't have the huge energy they have passed down. With the power of dragon veins and foxes, you are no worse than them. But if you have authority, even if it is only part of it, it is beyond the rank of a mortal mage. Perhaps, it is possible to reach the realm of Titan Guardians. Indeed, that's what I'm after. The mysteries of arcane art are endless, and their method of plundering authority fragments and recombining them is too rough, and the eating looks too ugly. What is the difference from the demons on the chaotic side? Wu smiled lightly. Use the method of order and the power of knowledge to solve all this. This is the mage. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziyu. Chapter 354. Chapter 354, Sage of the Six Paths. Wu's figure appeared on a deserted mountain peak. After getting Tenseiyan, Satoru didn't take it out of his personal space, nor did he transplant it. What he wants is only the transformation process of Tenseiyan synthesis up to the 6 levels. After 3 months of painstaking research, Satoru has fully grasped the fragment of authority represented by Tenseikan. With the reading progress of Medavea's book reaching 90%, Wu finally achieved a feat that previous guardians had never achieved by relying on the profound knowledge unsealed in it and the analysis of authority fragments. Moreover, he spent a lot of effort to design a special magic circle. No movement. After waiting for a long time, Wu scratched his head, but nothing happened. Didn't the fox say that the old man died hundreds of years? Alans complained. That guy, as a special spiritual body that has reached that level, can't turn a blind eye to your current state. Did he really hang up? Impossible, that old gentleman was very strong back then. Satoru waved Alans in his hand, and a complex magic circle appeared on the ground in front of him. Locating the magic circle, since the old man won't come out, then I'll take the initiative to find him. The magic circle was activated, and within a short time, a satisfactory result was obtained. I found a very special 6 paths yin and yang chakra. Could it be that even the sage of the 6 paths could not escape death after giving up his identity as 10 Tails Jinchuriki, so he thought of such a way to keep his spirit body wandering in the world? Through the positioning of the magic circle, enlightenment successfully locked on a chakra that was almost constantly moving in the land of fire. I'm lucky. I sensed it the first time. I'm really an old gentleman who can't rest. And then? With your current ability, there is no way to open the portal to this illusory spiritual body. Alans also sensed the existence of the Sage of the 6 Paths through the magic circle, but no, it seems, not only the 6 yin and yang chakras exist. Wu was taken aback for a moment, and felt carefully again. I still only perceive this one. With Wu's current mental strength, he can cover the entire Fire Kingdom in an instant. But Aluneth, as a pure arcane entity, has a much higher perception of energy than enlightenment. Its projection can instantly perceive the tailed beast sealed in Renzuli's body. This 6-path yin-yang escape chakra is well hidden, huh? Alans was surprised. Are you able to sense my perception? The 6 paths yin and yang chakra disappeared. No, it was hidden again. What's the situation? Could it be that what you perceive is a heretic golem? No. There is no golem of the outside world restored to 10 tails, and there is no ability of the 6 realms at all. Even when Uchiha Madara has the eyes of reincarnation, he can't do this to this extent. Enlightenment frowned. More and more cases of detachment from intelligence. It seems that his current strength is still not enough. The yin-yang escape chakra seems to be sealed by something. It is very weak, but its essence is not weak. How do you want to track it down? It's a pity that we don't have the means to track it yet. Even the immortal of the 6 paths, We can only draw his attention and let him take the initiative to come to see us. Maybe he is aware of this chakra, otherwise why he keeps moving. Alans admitted that what Satoru said made sense, but the Sage of the Six Paths would really. Ugh. There was a flower in front of Wu Wu, and the next moment, he was in a pure white space. This is. Looking at the hand, Alans did not come in with him. It seems that the Sage of the Six Paths has not discovered the clue of this staff. Young man, it's you. You have recently mastered the power of the Six Paths, and can you still discover me? Wu turned around, and saw the immortal of the Six Paths Datong Muyi, sitting cross-legged on a circle of Taoist jade, with an immortal tin staff on his lap, looking at him with a majestic face. In fact, to put it bluntly, it is expressionless. The horns of the head are towering, the scarlet swirl-shaped mark on the forehead, with a pair of reincarnation eyes, brown hair and long beard, and a white coat with a jade pattern, it is indeed very fairy-like. As for speaking habits. Just kidding, there is a way to apply arcane power, which is common language. Any archmage is a master of the art of language, and strange creatures in thousands of worlds can communicate with mere ancient language without any problems. We are mental bodies now. Oh, I forgot the way I speak, maybe it's not used to you. No, I understand, you can do whatever you want. Enlightenment dispelled the concerns of the Sage of the Six Paths, and nodded. It's my chakra that actively perceives you. I'm lucky. You happen to be in the land of fire. If it's farther away, I'll have to try a few more times. Hee, what a wonderful young man. Judging by your expression, you know this old man, no wonder you took the initiative to find this old man. However, your power of the Six Paths seems to have a familiar shadow. A hint of doubt seemed to flash across the majestic face of the immortal of the Six Paths. Are you my younger brother, a descendant of Hamura? Unfortunately, it's not. However, I did touch the threshold of the power of the Six Paths by studying the reincarnation eye lineage left by Senior Hamura. Enlightenment rubbed his chin. The Sage of the Six Paths could feel it. He was indeed worthy of being the creator of the ninja world. It's just that I only studied the information about the power of the Six Paths represented by Tenseigan, and didn't directly transplant Tenseikan, so I'm still just a beginner for the power of the Six Paths. It's really shocking, Hamura's Tenseigan lineage should only exist in theory. The Sage of the Six Paths couldn't hold back anymore, and became interested in an instant. Not only because Tenseigan really appeared, but also because the young man in front of him didn't directly use the power of Tenseikan possessed by the Six Realms. Tenseigan, I assisted Hamura to develop eyes that only exist in theory. Sage of the Six Paths is full of memories. Hamura has white eyes. It seems that you should know White Eyes and Hamura very well. Seeing Wu nodded, the immortal of the Six Paths also nodded slightly, and continued. Then it's much simpler to say that Hamura's white eyes are actually not pure. Although he is born with the power of the Six Realms, with his aptitude, he can go further. So, you saw the old man's eyes. Sage of the Six Paths pointed to his eyes. Reincarnation eye, I know. Wu nodded, while the immortal of the Six Paths was slightly taken aback. I know this too. It seems that your identity is not simple. In recent years, I have been paying attention to another important thing, and I have no spare time to pay attention to the changes in the ninja world. This is also the reason why I have been lingering in this area. You just said that this is called the Kingdom of Fire. Sage of the Six Paths stroked his beard. The old man is a little excited. I asked questions from the beginning, and it seems that I haven't asked about your identity yet. Could you please introduce me to the ninja world in recent years? Sure. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 355. Chapter 355 I know you very well. Miraculously, the Sage of the Six Paths didn't feel hostile to him from the first time he sensed Wu's luck. and when he saw Wu for the first time, the immortal of the six paths felt a touch of kindness for a long time. Unlike the feelings towards Mother Kaguya, younger brother Hamura and even the tailed beasts, Sage of the Six Paths feels. The young man in front of me gave me an unprecedented feeling. It was as if seeing him made him find his goal again. Relaxed, even a little bit of joy. Haven't felt this feeling for hundreds of years. Probably since the mother's incident, it has never happened again. Obviously, he is still a beginner in the force of six paths. The spiritual world doesn't count time, and in this pure white space, Sage of the Six Paths listened carefully to Satoru's self-introduction, and introduced to him what happened after the end of the Third Ninja World War. The Council of Guardians is an amazing creation. This old man hasn't realized that there is such a way. The Sage of the Six Paths now realizes that the young man in front of him is not only the latest owner of the power of the Six Paths, but also the first person to maintain peace in the ninja world. You have done much better than the old man back then. It is a great blessing to have such an outstanding young man like you in the ninja world. He wasn't worried at all that Wu was fooling him. Since wandering silently in the ninja world in the state of soul, the Sage of Six Paths has basically given up his understanding of the outside world. Otherwise, he would not have maintained the speaking habits of hundreds of years ago. But as long as he is willing to pay a little attention to the outside world, he can learn everything he wants to know. Therefore, he can also quickly change his speaking habits to adapt to modern times in a few seconds. I'm ashamed, for hundreds of years, there has been no new master of the power of the six paths, and the old man has paid much less attention to the ninja world. Basically, only pay attention to specific people at specific times. Is it the reincarnation of Indra and Asura's chakra? Satoru probably understood what was going on. You even know that? The immortal of the six paths opened his eyes slightly wide. Apart from himself, even the reincarnated chakra himself was unaware of this matter. It's something special for me to be able to step into the sixth level. Many things in the ninja world are not secrets to me. After successfully pretending in front of the Sage of the Six Paths, Wu was in a good mood. Besides, Indra and Asura this term are both my juniors, but with me around, there probably won't be any chance for them to play their role. I see. After a moment of silence, the Sage of the Six Paths didn't ask any further questions. After all, he had been dead for a long time. These two uneasy children are entangled in the reincarnation of chakra, and as a father, I must also take care of them. If they can really identify with each other and stop fighting, that would be a great thing. Speaking of this, the immortal of the Six Paths is in a much better mood. With you, the master of the power of the Six Paths who protects the peace of the ninja world, I may be able to relax a lot. I haven't asked you yet, is it important to lure this old man to see you? Sage of the Six Paths smiled slightly, making a rare joke. Isn't it just to see the demeanor of my ninja ancestor? Senior, you are still very humorous. Wu Yuan crossed his legs up and was suspended in the air like the Sage of the Six Paths. Speaking of which, this matter has a lot to do with you, or Indra's previous reincarnation. Seeing Sage of the Six Paths surprised, Wu sighed. You really don't pay attention to anything, or are you focused on waiting for their next reincarnation after the death of the last Asura, Senshou-zuma? That's, indeed. Sage of the Six Paths coughed slightly in embarrassment. Usually, this old man also has very important things to do, and he has indeed neglected many things. The previous Indra, you mean Uchiha Madara? After a moment of silence, Sage of the Six Paths became serious. He is still alive? No, his state is very strange. Well, the forbidden technique, the psychic technique of the other world, the reincarnation of the dirt, Madara uses this method to stay in the human world and want to accomplish something. I fought with him not long ago, before I got the power of the Six Paths. Although he has nothing to do with me, but with the weird effect of that technique, I really can't kill him with conventional methods. Enlightenment told the Sage of the Six Paths about the events after the establishment of the Guardian Council, and the other party became more and more surprised as he listened. The reincarnation of the filth is the previous Azura. The technique that Senshouzuma's younger brother came up with did not expect to have such a big impact. However, if this technique loses the sacrifice it relies on, it can be dispelled. You who have mastered the power of the Six Paths can now completely destroy it from the rule level. Sage of the Six Paths smiled wryly and shook his head. When Madara stole Hashirama's power and awakened the eyes of reincarnation, the old man was aware of it. It is also that he has remained immortal, and Indra Chakra has not been reincarnated, so the corresponding Azura Chakra has not been reincarnated either. The old man also specially left a stele of exhortations for the family of Indra's successor, but it didn't seem to be of much use. Senior Yi, if Madara jumps out again, I will naturally deal with him. Wu curled his lips. Although the immortal of the Six Paths didn't say anything, he could guess that the other party had been devoting almost all of his energy to it, perhaps it was running the Pure Land world. This time I took the initiative to find the senior. There are two things. The first thing, of course, is to deal with what Madara wants to accomplish. The stele you left behind is an exhortation? But I have to regret to tell you. The stele has been tampered with, and Madara's instructions are to destroy the world and create it again. What kind of dream world? But Madara's initial thoughts were no different from Senjujima, they both wanted to pursue peace. So, I want to see if there are other ways to deal with Spots. After all, at the end of the day, he is also a poor guy who was cheated. After the Sage of the Six Paths was stunned, a smile appeared on his face. If I hadn't identified Azura's reincarnator, this old man would almost have thought you were him. You can have this kind of thinking, the old man is really gratified. But the old man is in this state, unable to directly interfere with the real world. The inscription has been tampered with, sure enough. So what are you going to do about this? Since I know so much about your existence, I naturally know about Ten Tails too. Enlightenment's words made the immortal of the Six Paths raise his eyebrows. Do you want to become Ten Tails Jinchuriki like Madara? No, I don't even use Tensagen, I only trust my own strength. Wu shook his head. I said, I know your affairs very well, so I naturally know who is sealed in the moon. Sage of the Six Paths was silent again. And Satoru looked directly into his eyes. I pursue the mysteries of this world, although I'm still a little overwhelmed. But I will definitely not turn a blind eye to such a big threat above my head. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 356. Chapter 356 Going further. Enlightenment has always been puzzled, what the Sage of the Six Paths is thinking. If it is said that he can monitor the situation in the ninja world at any time, he will turn a blind eye when Madara is doing things. As he said just now, he is usually busy with other things and doesn't pay attention. Well, Enlightenment just treats him as a dead house immortal in his dream, or for the sake of the Pure Land, to plan for a rainy day. This is a serious matter. But when Madara reincarnation appeared and began to single-handedly challenge the ninja allied forces or even Gakage, he didn't just come out to remove him, and his soul was detained back to the Pure Land. What are you waiting for? He also said just now that he cannot directly interfere with the real world. But he can obviously show up directly, undo the dirt and reincarnate. What ability does Madara have that makes the sages of the Six Paths afraid? Or is it that the immortal of the Six Paths sensed the existence of Heiju and was afraid of being overshadowed? This is not impossible, after all, Heiju is an existence that even Liudaeban can die. It looks very weak, but it is highly targeted. It is accurate for 10 Tails Jinchuriki. Sage of the Six Paths used to be Jinchuriki of the 10 Tails. Moreover, when he heard that the inscription had been tampered with just now, he was not very surprised, and he seemed to have noticed it. Later, Madara was resurrected and became 10 Tails Jinchuriki, possessing the power of the Six Paths. At this time, the Sage of the Six Paths was finally in a hurry. It's just that he still didn't come out, and he had to wait until the reincarnation of his two sons was dying before coming out to give away cheats. Do you want them to experience life through death? He also met the reincarnation more than once, but why didn't he see Hashirama and Madara alone? Is it because Hashirama defeated Madara just like Asura defeated Indra, and established the most reliable peace model at that time? It's not that Wu can't directly ask the immortals of the Six Paths these questions. However, after meeting the immortal of the Six Paths, he suddenly realized that it was pointless to ask these questions. Now, the story of Indra and Asura has opened a new chapter. With their own presence, they have no point in continuing to entangle. I will establish a system of long-term stability in the ninja world, and completely solve the threat of Otsutsuki. Looking directly at the reincarnation eyes of the immortal of the Six Paths, Wu said seriously. This can be regarded as what I need to leave behind after I have come here. It sounds like you look more like an alien than me, Otsutsuki. Sage of the Six Paths nodded lightly, his face full of memories. Just now we talked about my brother Hamura, and now we talked about my mother Kaguya, so let's explain these past events one by one. My mother Otsutsuki Kaguya came here from a faraway place, in order to get the fruit of the sacred tree. You know this too? Well, I'm starting to wonder if you're an old monster from my time reincarnated. I have some special means, moreover, I have seen the great toad immortal, Hamawan. Without blinking, Wu Glasses gave himself a seemingly seamless reason. Sure enough, the immortal of the Six Paths was taken aback for a moment, and then smiled wryly. Okay, that guy Hamamaru. Then it's not surprising, with your methods, his old fool has nothing to hide. Speaking of which, his prophecy was finally unreliable once again. MT Miyamu also needs toads to come to my Joshinyuan for permanent residence. Naturally, the great toad immortal needs to give some support. Wu's ambiguous words made the Sage of the Six Paths clearly nod. Then this is much simpler. Hamura and I sealed my mother Kaguya, and the sealing technique is the moon above our heads. In order to monitor the seal, Hamura personally stationed on the moon. Tenseiyan is a theoretical ability developed by us in order to deal with the situation of being sealed. However, until Yuyi's death, he was not able to truly complete this ability, otherwise, he might be able to leave a little remnant like the old man, right? The Sage of the Six Paths sighed uncontrollably. Bian's bloodline is the same as Atsuki's bloodline, each in Ninja World and the Moon, relying on the purification of bloodlines to reach the peak respectively, and then combined. It's just that you obviously didn't get Tenseiken through this method, right? That's right, in fact, this matter is also a byproduct of research. After telling the Sage of the Six Paths about the Hyuga clan's family and its division, Wu shrugged. So speaking of it, I don't really have a good impression of Senior Hamura. He is too irresponsible to his descendants. If the introduction of this incident is to ensure the stability of the Guardian Council, as well as the stability of Mue Hidden Village, the stability of my subordinates' family. So I, who got Tenseiken in the end, am I considered a good person with good rewards? Ha ha ha, that's true. Sage of the Six Paths laughed heartily. The situation of the Hyuga clan, to be honest. It's not under his supervision at all. As the grandpa who only sets things right in the ninja world when encountering a major crisis, if the Sage of the Six Paths paid attention to this kind of thing, even the spiritual body would have been tired and dissipated hundreds of years earlier. However, if you don't plan to transplant Tenseiken directly, there is still a long way to go to deal with the old man's mother Kaguya. After laughing, sage of the six paths didn't feel embarrassed. After all, he and Hamura were the first to attack his mother. The old man has no doubt that after thousands of years, mother's strength will not decline at all. She is the ancestor of Chakra, the body of the 10 tails, with almost unlimited lifespan, unable to kill, only sealed. Once she is released, she is completely invincible without two people who have mastered the yin and yang power of the six paths. As for a person like Madara, even if the old man personally speaks out about what he believes, it may not be able to change his mind. So, how do you want to handle both of these problems at the same time? Sage of the Six Paths actually joked. You don't expect Madara to seal her with you, do you? This old man can teach you the sealing technique of Six Paths Earth Burst Star. No, I want to destroy the 10-tailed body, the heretic golem. Satoru grinned, and cooperated with Madara. That's Hashirama's business, why join in the fun by himself? Are you trying to prevent the resurrection of the 10 tails? The sage of the six paths immediately understood the purpose of enlightenment. This is something the old man couldn't do back then. You must know that the sacred tree has its own consciousness. Even if there are only roots left, it can grow again. Unless it is completely wiped out from the rules, it is useless to destroy only a part. The sacred tree, or the golem of the heretics, has not been destroyed. Even in the original timeline, Naruto, who had obtained the six paths of immortal art, cut off the entire sacred tree at the root. But that is meaningless. After being cut off, the sacred tree can still play a role. I couldn't do it at first, but now, with this kind of energy, is it possible to do it? A ball of purple arcane light appeared in Satoru's hand, and the sage of the six paths opened his eyes wide. This is the second thing I asked for, senior. My arcane power, which is different from chakra, wants to ask you for further advice. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 357. Chapter 357 Star Soul. The sage of the six paths was amazed at Wu's arcane power. Six paths of immortality, in the ninja world, can almost be regarded as the top power nature. This is the perfect combination of the power of the six paths and natural energy. The power of the six paths, in essence, is that the Otsutsuki clan used a strange creature like the 10-tailed sacred tree to steal the power of the star soul, and formed fragments of creation authority that can be controlled by mortals. Chakra is the exclusive energy of the Otsutsuki clan, formed by extracting natural energy through the 10-tailed god tree and combining it with life energy. This kind of energy can be passed on through the bloodline, and so can the power of the six paths. The difference is that the power of the six realms is too closely combined with the blood, and it has only been passed down for one generation before being dispersed. The appearance of the 10 tails god tree changed the environment of the ninja world. Living in this environment, the creatures nourished by the star soul, human beings and animals, have also undergone changes and acquired brand new abilities. Use the fusion of physical energy and spiritual energy to refine the ability of chakra. And through the ninja school founded by the sage of the six paths, chakra's cultivation methods have been widely spread. Native creatures in the ninja world, before the appearance of chakra, very few had supernatural abilities. Fairy art. Different from Xianxia chakra, Xianju at this time is pure natural energy. Therefore, only a very small number of animals with special physiques and closer to nature can control this power. And the appearance of chakra has greatly reduced the difficulty of cultivating celestial arts, although it is still very difficult. Immortal chakra, which combines natural energy, has become the most mainstream way of immortal cultivation. The celestial chakra with all the 5 elements of yin and yang is already at the same level as the arcane power before enlightenment. Originated from the star soul, the 2 poles of 1 and 10,000. And through the blessing of the power of the 6 paths of permission fragments, the 6 paths of immortal art is still above Wu's arcane power. The immortal chakra created by the sage of the six paths and achieved by the power of the six paths is a step closer to the star soul. This can be regarded as the fusion of supernatural abilities of the two worlds. Possess the authority fragment of the star soul, possess the physical energy and spiritual energy of the creatures nourished by the star soul, and also possess the natural energy derived from the star soul. Luteo Xianxu utilizes the secondary energy after differentiation to reintegrate to achieve the purpose of qualitative change. Therefore, only the sages of the six paths can have the ability to create the world. After delving into the power of the six paths represented by Tensagen, and the authority fragments, I realized that the current arcane power is on par with the six paths immortal art. Moreover, Wu is confident that after a period of careful research, he hopes to magnify the power of the authority fragments. And the immortal of the six paths, who has been immersed in authority fragments for thousands of years, personally taught it, which will undoubtedly greatly speed up the progress of Wu's research. Now, on the mountain peak, it has been 3 months since Wu left the spiritual world. Satoru, who was in the magic circle, opened his eyes. How? Partner. Alunetha's voice jumped out impatiently. For 3 months, it not only maintained the magic circle, but also acted as Satoru's guard. Finally, I have a sliver of confidence. A bright light flashed across Wu's eyes, and Aelins keenly noticed that it was no longer the usual color of arcane power. Purple radiance. And it's closer to the white glow of the Titan Guardians when they cast spells. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that I could become a partner with a Titan Guardian. It's early, now it's only a preliminary fusion of some authority fragments. And even if he succeeds in the future, without more than 10 years of hard work, he will not be able to reach that level. Compared to countless times in the past, I can afford to wait. Ha! See how the guardian dragons of Azeroth eat their money, and how unreliable the guardians of the Titans are. You said, can the star soul of this planet still be saved? Like Azeroth? Aluneth suddenly thought. In the final analysis, what the divine tree does is no different from the old gods, except that one is plundering and stealing, and the other is suppressing corruption. The actual effect is to destroy the birth of a noble titan. There is little hope, unless all the 9-tailed beasts are raised and fed back to the star soul. Satoru smiled wryly and shook his head. But let's not talk about whether it can be done or not, the tailed beasts themselves are also considered victims. If you rely on the ninja world to recover by yourself, it is possible, but I don't know how many years it will take. What's more, the size of this planet and Azeroth is not the same order of magnitude, the essence of power is not bad, and the energy reserves are not comparable. Replace the sacred tree with the ancient gods on Azeroth, and just come here, and the ninja world will not be able to survive now. What a pity. Let's do the thing right now, if there is such a day, contact the Pantheon. Maybe it's still possible. Pantheon. Cleaning up his mood, Wu spent a month redesigning the magic circle. Then, began a feat that even the sages of the six paths had never done. OM. An unprecedentedly complex three-dimensional magic circle unfolded, and the Book of Medivh appeared beside Wu. Its projection is placed in Jioshinyuan, and the energy of the dragon veins in it acts as the energy source of the anti-gravity matrix. Now, Satoru uses its body. The reading progress is 91%. This powerful artifact that spans 3 worlds, driven by Wu who possesses the permission fragment, begins to display its true ability. Communicate with the star soul. Ugh. The spirit of enlightenment has entered a strange state. Unlike the ancient rituals performed by the dwarven king Meg Bronzebeard, the method of communicating with the astral souls recorded in the Book of Medivh does not turn Satoru into a diamond statue. The reason? Probably, one of the authors of this book, Sargeras who polluted Medivh, was originally a titan. In this seemingly empty world, Wu's spirit slowly recovered. If he didn't have the permission fragments, Wu would not be able to fully appreciate the grandeur, greatness, and purity of the star soul. He is like a light in the boundless darkness, full of infinite beauty and magic of creation. But above this beautiful light, there is a huge shadow. God Tree. Wu's spirit hadn't been able to truly connect with the star soul, and he was already shocked by the damage the star soul received just in the state of observation. As I deduced, a wound of this degree, the sacred tree has been sealed for thousands of years, and it hasn't healed much. It may take tens of thousands of years to fully recover. Ninja Star Soul has not developed a certain self-awareness like Azeroth, and knows how to find a spokesperson. He even has a weak self-healing instinct. Enlightenment can feel the boundless pain instinctively of Xingun right now. In this case, let me be your spokesperson. After obtaining full authority, I will definitely try my best to find the Pantheon and help you restore it. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 358. Chapter 358 Konoha's Condition. During Wu's absence, the Guardian Council quickly adapted to its position under the leadership of the 5 members. It's not just about investigating Uchiha Madara. There are some ambitious people in all countries who want to take advantage of the panic in the ninja world to do something for themselves. But the ninja world with the Guardian Council and the original ninja world are two different things. The major hidden villages have also tasted the sweetness. Using the convenient portal, the executive forces of the Guardian Council can arrive at the place where the chaos occurred in the first time and deal with it in time. Gradually, the forces of all parties who found it useless to resolve conflicts by force also began to force and half-voluntarily set their sights on the negotiating table. In the negotiations in Jiaoshinyuan, no one can use force to coerce. For a time, the bloodshed in the ninja world was greatly reduced. As for the nonsense, Gaotian used to be a conference room where they could talk as much as they wanted. As the country of Taki, the battlefield of Satoru and Madara, Takiyan village fell into a deep entanglement after receiving the notification letter from the Guardian Council. On the one hand, as Longyan village, which was once second only to the 5 great hidden villages, they own Nanao Shijiki, which is something they are proud of until now. But on the other hand, their strength has been far inferior to before, so the modern Longyan village chose to close itself. Even in the Guardian Council, they only sent a Junin to participate symbolically. Although Longyan village had such wonderful characters as Kakozu, Kakozu's betrayal back then was also one of the major factors for Longyan village's rapid decline. All the high-level people have been killed, and the secret arts have also been lost. Can it not decline? The reason Nanao Shijiki disappeared was because it had a new Jinchuriki. Although Jinzuriki is young, he still brings confidence to Takiyan village. It's just the tragedy of the land of Taki, which forced Takiyan village to seek help from the Council of Guardians. With this level of combat power, even if the tailed beast is used entirely by the village, it won't help. Therefore, after carefully analyzing the risks faced by Longyan village, they applied for a special assistance from the Guardian Council. The opening permission of the portal. Since the establishment of the Guardian Council, it was the first time that the 5 councillors held a meeting on this level of events. Longyan village is not one of the 5 great kingdoms, and it was barely enough to keep tailed beasts. Open the portal? They don't have that qualification. Qing from Wuyan village was the first to express his opinion. During this period of time, Shirokage was almost useless, and although the 4th Mizukage didn't seem to care that this was a huge loss to the village, Ao himself still couldn't keep his mood. Glancing at the rope tree where the old god was, Qing gritted his teeth. At the beginning of the establishment of the parliament, they only sent one person, which was simply perfunctory, and now they think of the parliament when they encounter a crisis? If it wasn't for the speaker's timely action, Longyan village might have disappeared long ago. Although the country of water is isolated overseas, it has made a lot of money from the portal trade and is slowly recovering. But in fact, Ching knows very well that the cake of world trade is far from reaching its maximum size. The joining of the country of Taki will only promote the peace process of the ninja world faster. But when he passed this matter back to Wuyan village, the fourth generation gave an order to stop Takiyan village. The reasons given by Yagura are the ones mentioned by Ao above. In addition to Konoha, the portal is to facilitate the Guardian Council and pay huge benefits to the four great nations. And now, Longjian village wants to share this huge benefit without paying any price. Ao felt that what Yagura said made sense, but before the fourth generation, I was not such a careless person. Did something happen? Or is there any new plan for the fourth generation? Member Ching is right. Huangtu followed closely to express his opinion. This inarticulate congressman is very firm today. Takiyan village has been closed for so many years, it is difficult to judge whether they still have the strength to maintain and protect the portal. If the strength is insufficient, once the portal is used by evildoers, the consequences will be disastrous. The country of Earth borders the country of Taki, and apart from the country of Fire, which also borders them, they are the forces that can most influence the country of Taki. And if the kingdom of Taki also has a portal, they can even ignore this influence, which obviously has a great impact on the interests of the kingdom of Earth. Of course, that old guy Onoji wouldn't let this happen. Our kingdom of Thunder agrees. Today smiled and glanced at the angry Huangtu. Of course, Yunyan village would stop things that Yunyan village didn't want. Takiyan village has always been rich in Jainin. Although there are few top experts, their average strength should not be underestimated. What's more, now that their Seven Tails Jinchuriki has also been selected, the construction of the portal can bring the only tailed beast that is not controlled by the five major powers into the supervision of the parliament. Dashiro slowly and carefully threw out the statement that left Huangtu speechless. Moreover, this is of great significance to regional security and stability. If Madara reappears in the country of Taki, the council will also be able to support it immediately. We, Hidden Sand Village, also agree with this matter. Maji watched the confrontation of several congressmen with cold eyes. The fourth Kazekage understood this matter very clearly. The country of Taki is located in the middle of the three kingdoms of Fire, Earth, and Thunder. Opening the portal is of great benefit. Moreover, Yunyan Village's proposal coincides with Luosha's. Sand Hidden Village is still worrying about the extraction of tailed beast chakra. If we can take advantage of this opportunity, use Nanao as the experimental subject, and refer to the technology of other villages, it will undoubtedly greatly speed up the research progress. You know, needless to say, Konoha, among the other four major countries, only Shayin village has only one tailed beast, and there is no alternative if something goes wrong. But Longyan village can't pay any price, so our suggestion of Sand Hidden village, Nanao's chakra extraction operation, the five major countries jointly proposed and perfected the plan, as a reference. Marky seems to be talking about the five major countries, but he actually looks at Chenchu. This is a good thing that is beneficial to the entire ninja world. I, Sand Hidden village, advocate that all villages do their best to do this well. You, one by one. Seeing that they had all spoken, Nakoki, who was always maintaining an inexplicable smile, couldn't help but shrugged. Before the speaker's sublimation, he confessed that any issues that may arise in the country of Taki will be decided by the few of us. He abstained from voting. He sat up straight, with a bright light in his eyes. This matter, our opinion of Konoha is the final opinion of the council. Then, Konoha, we agree. But just like what Toshiro and Maki said, the country of Taki no need to pay extra price, but Nanao is the root of attracting Uchiha Madara's attention. Tail Beast Chakra Transmission Technology, our Konoha is indeed at a mature and usable stage, but you also know that there is no good thing in the world for nothing. It's not impossible for Konoha to participate in joint research and development, or even contribute to this technology, but I, Konoha, have a condition. What conditions? All tailed beasts in each village must join this research. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 359. Chapter 359 Tailed Beast Assembly Plan. We need to know why Konoha is doing this. The four counselors looked serious and quickly exchanged glances with each other. Union Village Counselor Doyo spoke first. Tail beasts are a strategic weapon of the Great Hidden Village, and this is the rule set by your grandfather, the first generation of Hokage. Konoha won't be confident just because the speaker is from Konoha, right? Of course not, you should worry too much. Nakoki shook his head with a smile, but what he said made the four congressmen feel as if they had been slapped hard. To be honest, if Wu really wants to do something, you won't be able to keep even one tailed beast in your village. The words are rough and the rationale is not rough, that's what they mean. You should be grateful that Mr. Speaker is not an ambitious man like Madara. So, you don't have to worry about what damage this thing will do to you. The reason for making this request is because of Konoha's tailed beast Nine Tails. 9 tails? The four counselors looked at each other in blank dismay, and they also learned that Konoha's 9 Tails Jinchuriki Uzumaki Mito died a year ago. The transfer of 9 Tails Jinchur power naturally happened. Although Konoha couldn't announce it, it was not a secret. The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato, the new 9 Tails Jinchuriki. So that's how it is, fourth Hokage, he established communication with Kuwabai. Ching suddenly realized. As the first village with perfect Renshu power in Kirigakure village, Yakura can indeed communicate with Mio. Renzhuli, who has been approved by the tailed beast, can completely control the power of the tailed beast, display the powerful tailed beast body form, and S-level ninjutsu tailed beast Jade. Toshiro is also silent, and Kiribi of Union Village can now communicate with Yaoo and become a perfect Jinzuriki. So he also knows very well that tailed beasts can indeed communicate. Is it because of this reason that Konoha developed the conduction technology of tailed beast chakra? The 8 tails can also inject tailed beast chakra into the portal, but it cannot be put into use because Kiribi cannot be placed in the portal all the time. Could it be that the method of chakra teleportation was also taught by Kuwabai? That's right, the 4th generation can communicate with Kuwabai, and the tailed beast chakra conduction technology was also completed with the assistance of Kuwabai. Naoki blinked, there was nothing wrong with that, if Kuwabai didn't help, Satoru couldn't do anything about it. That's why Nine Tails mentioned it before, wanting to meet other tailed beasts. Speaking of which, I haven't seen them for hundreds of years. I, Konoha, still have to try my best to meet this small request. Huang Tu was scratching his head a bit, but Han was fine with it, but Lao Zi had left the village to become a wandering monk for a while. Even if you agree, where can I find him? The four counselors glanced at each other again, and tacitly chose to go back to ask their shadows for instructions. The counselors were holding a meeting, and Nagato flew away from Takamahara alone. Gao Tianyuan is in the air on the border between the land of rain and the land of fire. Although there is no teleportation gate in the land of rain, Nagato, who has the ability to fly, can still return to Yuyan village very conveniently. As Nagato entered the rain country, he took out a pair of delicate bracelets and put them on his wrists. Senior brother Wu's creations are still so exquisite. If you want me to say, just use a black stick. Grinning, Nagato closed his eyes slightly to sense, and then flew towards Yuyan village while forming seals with both hands. Over the past year or so, the Su organization has been established, and Nagato asked Madara for 6 white zealots to form the Pen 6 Paths. Maybe it's because of Baiju's special reason. Although his physical strength is not strong, it unexpectedly fits with the ability of Samsara Eye. Therefore, although the 6 paths of pen made out of them is a bit ugly, its ability is not weak at all. Each pane controls a group of various subordinates and gradually spreads out an intelligence network. During this period of time, virtual organizations have made great contributions in spying on intelligence. This information played a huge role in helping the Guardian Council quickly grasp the situation in the area and make correct judgments. However, Madara expressed dissatisfaction with the virtual organization's delay in collecting information on the tailed beast. Although the 4 generations of Mizukage Yakura have been controlled, the current Kirigakura village is open. It is impossible for Madara to use Yakura's identity to do anything out of the ordinary, such as forcibly pushing blood mist and the like. Although the Guardian Council does not interfere in the country's internal affairs, Madara will be more distressed if Yakura's personality changes drastically and is suspected. After all, he also needs a base with abundant resources. This time, Madara won't have any objections. The 9-tailed beasts gather. Will he come? The current virtual organization, except for a small amount of energy to keep staring at Madara, has no time to control the tailed beast. Most of their energy is looking for a goal. When Satoru was looking for the Sage of the Six Paths, aliens noticed the well-hidden yin-yang chakra of the Six Paths. Before Wu communicated with the Star Soul, he had already arranged the next stage of affairs. The main task of Nagato is to use the induction magic accessories made by Satoru to find out where there is such chakra in the ninja world. Neither the immortal of the Six Paths who possesses the power of the Six Paths nor himself has ever discovered the mysterious controller of the Six Paths power. Who is it? What identity? For what purpose? Where? When Madara's matter is not over yet, Satoru does not allow this kind of peak-level threat to lurk in the shadows. After being taught by the immortal of the Six Paths, Wu's arcane power has now fully integrated the authority fragments, and can completely destroy the golem of the outer Dao. It just takes a very long time. During this time, it was enough for Madara to jump out and wreak havoc. Therefore, Wu didn't rush to get Nagato's psychic heretic golem and then destroy it. Wu's plan is to continue to communicate with the Star Soul. The higher the synchronization rate with the Star Soul, the more complete the creation authority, and the stronger the arcane power. Up to a certain point, heretic golems are not a problem at all. The gathering of the 9-tailed beasts is another plan of Wu. Chakra, who owns 9 big-tailed beasts at the same time, can establish a communication space. No matter where the tailed beasts are, they can come to meeting. Still fully immersive. This reminded Satoru of the instant messaging platform. In Azeroth, only a few powerful archmages can do it, remote communication. For example, Archmage Kajer whispered, "You must kill them, and I will instruct you on your next move or something." In fact, the 9-tailed beasts are 9 nodes in this process. The chakra is the transceiver, and the 9 nodes together constitute the platform. So what if the tail beast node is replaced with a magic net node? Using the infinite chakra of the tail beast to maintain the magic net nodes all over the ninja world, can a communication system all over the ninja world be established? Furthermore, this is the basis for positioning the portal. Madara doesn't have reincarnation eyes. Although he can control the golem of the outside world, he can't channel it, so there should be no problem with this plan. Nagato returned to his private secret room in Yuyan village and closed his eyes. In the distance, 6 pairs of psychic and reincarnation eyes looked in one direction. Madara, what are you doing now? Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 360. Chapter 360 Nails and Chess Pieces. What is Uchiha Madara doing now? Madara is very upset about a strong man who is the only one who is not in the eyes of anyone except Senchauzuma. After a stumble on Wu, Madara had to put Wu's status on the same level as Hashirama. Although he didn't have the domineering power of Zujian, but Wu's application of the technique was another kind of extreme. Unlike Susanoo and True Thousand Hands, opening Gundam is still a physical attack. But Wu is a real energy attack. The feeling of being torn apart by the berserk energy, or being hammered by thousands of hands, can't tell which is more comfortable. But Madara hadn't had time to be dissatisfied with the dirt reincarnated body that he thought was enough for use. On the one hand, this is indeed what can be done at present, a method that allows him to exert his highest strength. On the other hand, after the last battle, he always cared very much about what Wu said when he was about to retreat. Be careful with the black ones, if you don't want to die unexpectedly. Humph. A clumsy plan to divide people. He said so, but Madara had no intention of telling Heize about this at all. Not only because of his understanding of Heiju, the product of his will created by his yin and yang escape, he will never betray himself. Or because he, Uchiha Madara, is confident enough. Moreover, maybe he didn't realize that, when he saw Heiju, this sentence would always pop out first involuntarily. What is going on? Madara had just learned about the latest action of the Guardian Council from 4th Mizukage Hyakura, and originally wanted to find Heize to discuss matters, but when he saw Heize for the first time, this sentence popped out again. Master Madara, are you alright? Heiju saw that Ban was stunned and did not speak, and asked involuntarily. Is there something wrong with the reincarnation of the dirty soil? Although it was the reincarnation of the dirty soil presided over by Heiju, he didn't control Madara at all with Madara's strength. Even if he was controlled, he was enough to break free on his own. So Heiju doesn't know what state Madara is in now. The last time I had a bad fight with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mito Monto Satoru. No, I was just thinking about something. Madara frowned, temporarily putting this matter behind her, but there was still an imperceptible estrangement between her words. Ju, you also know the latest news from the Guardian Council. Is there any information from Nagato? Yes, Madara-sama. Ju nodded, from showing only one head to showing the upper body on the ground. Nagato also sent information about the Nine-Tailed Beasts gathering plan and Chairman Satoru's long-term submerged training, which is no different from what Mizukage received. So at least for now, Nagato should still be reliable. Reliable? Humph. A trace of haze flashed across the spot. It's too early to judge. If it is said that Nagato could not figure out my strength before, then now that most of my strength has been displayed, it is hard to guarantee that this kid will not have any ideas. According to Madara's own thoughts, if he stands in Nagato's position now, he will also put a few question marks on Madara's previous promise. Madara believes that the reason why he was able to instigate rebellion against Nagato, in addition to the information of the Eye of Reincarnation, the Moon's Eye Project, and more importantly, is that he has always suppressed Nagato's strong strength. That is a powerful coercion that cannot be found in the ninja world. But now, the Speaker of the Guardian Council has proved that his strength is at least not inferior. Madara will also start to doubt whether the strength of this chess piece controlled by him will be affected by pushing himself against others. This, so far, Nagato's virtual organization is still active in the ninja world, and no special tendency has been seen, and the frequency of intelligence sharing is also maintained. Absolutely stated the information he possessed with a deadpan expression. Within Baiju's control, the 6 paths of pain are still moving at the original pace. It's best to have no abnormalities. Madara was silent for a moment, then spoke again. What do you think of the new actions of the Guardian Council? This is an excellent opportunity. We haven't collected much information about the tailed beasts yet, but now they actually want to gather together. Never heard the words, subconsciously said. Although there is no definite information on how many Injuriki there are, but judging from the existing information, there will never be more than 3 perfect Injuriki. If the golems of the heretics are dispatched, they should be able to catch them all. Heretic golem, although I can still control this thing, but without the eyes of reincarnation, I can't channel it to its destination. Madara glanced at her, feeling a little unsteady, her tone unchanged. This time, there are only two possible destinations, Longjian Village or Gao Tianyuan. This was also Madara's first thought when he got the news. What happened this time was to study the transmission of tailed beast chakra, and the confluence of the tailed beasts was either in Takiyan village where Shijiki Nanao was located, or in Takamahara where the teleportation hall was located. Heretic golems are indeed a difficult task. Want Nagato psychic heretic golem? Madara naturally wouldn't do such a stupid thing. He does not have the eyes of reincarnation, although he can now control the golem of the outside world, but once the golem is psychic by Nagato, the priority of control will inevitably be transferred to the owner of the Eye of Reincarnation. At present, Nagato's loyalty has just been questioned by Madara. When you contacted Nagato, you deliberately underestimated the conditions for using the heretic's samsara innate art, but at the same time exaggerated the conditions for psychicizing the golems of the heretics, just to prevent Nagato from easily psychicizing it. Ju nodded. There seemed to be a hint of a smile on the corner of his mouth, but he immediately returned to his expressionless face. If you want Nagato's psychic heretic golem at that time, it means that he must immediately perform reincarnation to resurrect you after the ten-tailed resurrection. Spreading his hands expressionlessly, he shook his head and said, Nagato is not a fool. In that case, we will inevitably be besieged by the Council of Guardians. Even if he doesn't know that the natural technique of reincarnation will kill him, he will not be willing to use it at that time. That means that he will completely lose the power to resist when he betrays the Guardian Council, and his end will be worse than death. Indeed so. Madara's gaze passed over Ju's body again without any trace. So, if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, then it's time to throw away Nagato's pawn. It's just a chess piece. To attract the attention of the Guardian Council, Nagato can still do it, and I will help him. Ju bowed slightly and respectfully said. Moreover, there are other solutions to the problem of the golem of the heretics. Oh. There is still a cold expression on the face, but a strange color flashes in the eyes that no one can find. You've become much smarter recently, which makes me very gratified. Tell me, is there any way? Master Madara, I am in charge of intelligence after all, although I will grow a little with more knowledge, I cannot compare with you. Absolutely not aware of Madara's strangeness, still respectfully said. Yuyan village also has a direct way to the Guardian Council.